So I'm going to put an inverter in our Alliance Valorish 32A10 camper. And it's easy enough to find an inverter. I only want a fairly small one. But finding all the parts and pieces, right wires and connectors and fuses and everything, that's a little more complicated. So I found Explorist.life, where they have kits for all of that stuff. So I got the inverter, distributor, and all the stuff to connect it and put it all together here from Explorist.life. This is a before view. Now, Alliance has put a big single door on this, so and put a shelf in there. So it's a nice space, but the big single door can't be opened when the truck is connected, so that's a drawback. It came with a generator, but we put the two little Hondas in there instead. So back there above the battery bank is the original generator wiring connection. I got 200 amp hour batteries from Lithium Battery Power. They're up the street in Tampa, and Ben up there is very knowledgeable. And I got disc brakes on this thing, so the brake controller is in here. And then that box is the Alliance inverter prep. From a sub panel off of the main panel, you have the in and the out, and it leads to right there. And then up on the upper shelf here, we got the smart solar charge controller. There's a 400 watt panel on the roof, and then this is a solar disconnect and the main battery disconnect. So obviously some things are going to have to move around, and someplace in here is going to have to be an inverter. So this is my Alliance 32A10 power distribution as I've modified it. The always hot bus bar down here only has the converter connected to it. These, I believe, are the slides and leveling. That's the power supply coming into here, and this one is the power supply going out to all the rest of the 12 volt stuff in the camper. So I'm to the point of test fitting things. I'm going to hang that Multiplus inverter on the wall there, a little above and to the right of where it is. These are the AC power wires that are orange there. The big power wires going up to the Lynx distributor, and the shunt and switch for that. The charge controller and its switch for the solar power is going to be here on the wall. And so I'm just trying to put everything in place and make sure it fits. So here's a couple of things I like about the Explorist.life kit. They send it with a battery switch that you can hook up the wires and everything, and then put the cover on the switch. The shunt here is taller than the rest of the things, so they have these little spacers that go underneath the Lynx monitor and also underneath the battery switch to hold them up to the same height as this shunt here. And they also send with the kit 2-aught cables, which are the correct size, but also 3/8 lugs for one end and 5/16 lugs for the other end. So, you know, it saves a lot of time having to figure out which is the correct cable and the correct ends and the little spacers and all these things. They send it to you all in a kit. It's great. This inverter is pretty heavy, and there's no way I can just hold it out at arm's length. and stick it on that bracket. So I've got it on a plastic pad with some boards to just be able to slide it in place without having to hold up the weight. Well, I got done putting my 2K inverter Lynx distributor and rehooking up the solar panel and the monitor here in our Alliance 32A10. And then I got thinking about the fact that you can't get to those self-resetting breakers with the batteries in place. If I have a problem with that on our trip, it's going to be a nightmare. So I'm going to move those breakers to where I can get at them. I moved the self-resetting breakers up. They're behind this cover now, and got the batteries back in place with all the wires rerun again. So if I have breaker trouble, I won't have to remove the batteries to service them. I still have a couple of wires to tie down here, but there's the inverter, the Lynx distributor, and the solar controller, a bus bar that I put so I wouldn't have too many things stacked up on positive terminals. And that's it.